Hey, true seekers, welcome back. Syke here. It's December 17th, 2016. Earlier this month, on December 5th, it was reported that Big Syke, the rapper from Thug Life and the Outlaws, 2Pac Shakur's rap groups, was found dead in his own home, having passed from natural causes. They said at the time of death that there was no autopsy, but there was no foul play suspected, and it appeared to be death from natural causes. If you missed my video, I showed how Big Syke's death was synced up with 2Pac Shakur's death, as well as other members of the Outlaws, including Hussein Fatal, who passed in 2015. Since making the video, multiple people have asked me about the death of Big Frank, 2Pac Shakur's bodyguard, who passed April 28th, 2013. I'm glad people asked me this question because this is more definitive proof that 2Pac and his entourage are either all being murdered by the numbers or all faking their deaths by the numbers. And I don't know which of those scenarios is the truth, but what I can show you is what's significant about the dates of their reported deaths. So if you missed the video on Big Syke, I'm going to link that in the description. At the end of this video, I talk about the death of Rashawn Salam, the former Heisman winner. And I said at the end of this video that Rashawn Salam's death is connected to the upcoming Heisman winner, which should be the young phenom out of Louisville. And since making this video, the Louisville quarterback has won the Heisman. So watch this video if you haven't seen it. There's so much important information in here in regards to the death of 2Pac and his entourage, plus more. Murder by numbers is a very real thing. It's happening all the time in this world. Almost any time you hear about a celebrity death in the mainstream media, it's murder by numbers or faking the deaths by the numbers. And I wish I could create a poll on these videos so people could vote what they think. Do they think that these people are being murdered? Do they think that they're faking their deaths? Or are they unsure? You know, even I myself, who's been doing this research, I'm unsure. I think sometimes people really are being murdered. I think other times people are definitely faking their deaths. Sometimes it's hard to say. So the question is, Big Frank, look at this. As I explained in the video about Big Syke, 118 is a number of death. So many celebrities in this world have died by the number 118. Big Frank, who we're about to get to, died on the 118th day of 2013, which was April 28th. Notice, 2Pac's rap group, Outlaws, which Big Syke was a part of, gematria of 118. They spelled it with a Z instead of an S. The Z spelling gives it 118 gematria. 118 is a number of death. Earlier this year in February, Vanity, her cause of death was blamed on something with 118 gematria. I showed in February how her former boyfriend, Prince, had birth name gematria of 118. Plus more. And I said in that video, Prince better watch his ass. We might be reading about his death next. And lo and behold, Prince died on a very specific date. Prince recorded the song in 1983 saying, "I would die for you." And he spelled it with the number 4 and the letter U. U is the 21st letter. 421. Prince died on 421, April 21st, by the numbers. His death connecting to 118. Go back and watch my video from February on Vanity's death, talking about why Prince better watch his ass. This language of gematria, very important to understand because you can really get an insight into what's going on in this world and what's being reported. You'll see through these murder by numbers in record time. That same year that Prince recorded that song, 1983, 33 years before his death, that same year, the band The Police recorded the song Murder by Numbers, which has everything to do with what we're talking about here. It talks about how killing is as simple as A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. And that's exactly what gematria is, the practice of coding numbers into words using the alphabetic order. So 118, this number of death, Big Syke died in his home on the 118th meridian. Notice also the 33rd parallel corresponding with his hip-hop name, Big Syke. But look at this. 2Pac Shakur himself died on a date with 118 numerology. 2Pac's birth name, Lassane Parish Crooks, gematria of 118. Bruce Edward Washington Jr., who died in 2015, Hussein Fatal, gematria of 118. And now we're going to talk about Big Frank, who died on the 118th day of the year. Big Frank also died in his home. They blamed it on suicide. Let's just pause there. With regards to celebrity death being blamed on suicide in 118, do you recall the death of Robin Williams on August 11th, 2014? 8 plus 11 plus 14, 33. You can write that date out as 11/8, day before the month, a lot like 118. I think a lot of people in this world have been murdered and their death falsely blamed on suicide. Think about how wrong that is. Anyhow, he died in his home in Marietta on the 33rd parallel on the 118th day of the year. Marietta has gematria 42. They reported that his home was on the 4200 block and that he died at 5:42 p.m. in the evening time. He also happened to be born on February 11th, the 42nd day of the year, which we'll talk more about. These numbers 33 and 42, they're numbers of the Freemasons, Freemasonry, Zionism, the Jesuits. They are who run the show in this world, and they run it by the numbers. They control entertainment, recording industry, what's on the TV. This is how this gang gets away with so much wrongdoing, from murdering people to having people fake their deaths by the numbers. They control the authority, they control the information outlets. We're living in their world right now. The New World Order, the Illuminati, it's Freemasonry, Zionist bankers, Jesuits. That's what it is. This man, he died on Shaw Lane. Shaw Lane is where his home was, having gematria of 38. The word death is 38, killing 38, rapper 38, nigga 38. So many rappers have died by the number 38, including 2Pac Shakur himself, including Notorious B.I.G. and a million more. 2Pac's date of death, September 13th, 1996. Date with 38 numerology, as you see. Death 38, killing 38. And as always, that date can be written 13/9, 2Pac Shakur equals 139, Freemasonry equals 139. Never seen my videos on the death of 2Pac. There's so much more to this story, but for now, that's enough. Frank Alexander was the name Big Frank went by. This is the bodyguard who died on the 118th day of the year. Frank Alexander equals 62, like Mason. Freemasons is who we're talking about. A lot of these men who are celebrity are born into this gang, born into this Masonic network. In the Death of Big Syke video, I talked about how almost all of these people we're talking about, their parents were Black Panthers. And what a lot of people don't understand about the Black Panther Party is it was controlled opposition created by the powers that be, the Freemasons, the Zionists. All throughout history, this gang has used controlled opposition to calm down and discredit their opposition. The Black Panther Party was created out of an agenda. So here's Frank Alexander, 62, name like Mason. They report that he died at age 54 at 5:42 p.m. on the 4200 block in Marietta, which equals 42. 42, this number often stamped on Black people throughout history in a negative way. Again, Frank is also born on February 11th, the 42nd day of the year, in the year 59. And I want to make a point about 42 and 59. The Freemasons, they believe in divide and conquer. Divisive terms, terms of hate that we use against each other, a lot of them have these Freemason encoded numbers. Freemason 42, History 42, Knowledge 42. February is the only month with 42 gematria. Think about Jackie Robinson, first Black baseball player in white major league, wearing 42. February, Black History Month. February equals 42. Brothers equals 42. The word boy, using the alphabetic order, sums to 42. Think about how that's used in a derogatory way against black men. The most hateful word for black people sums to 42. February also ends on the 59th day of the year. February 28th is the 59th day of the year. 59 is the other number stamped on black men throughout history. That's the year Motown Records came out, the black music label. Notice that Frank Wilbert Alexander born that year. When you write out 5 and 9, they're the only two numbers using the alphabetic order that sum to 42. 59, 5, 9, 42. Negro equals 59, slave 59, blues 59, the word kill in Jewish gematria is 59. So here's Frank Wilbert Alexander, born on the 42nd day in the month of February in the year 59, and then dead on the 118th day of the year, April 28th, 2013. His birth name, Frank Wilbert Alexander, sums to 223. This is a very special number to Freemasonry, as well as the Zionists, which go by the name the Synagogue of Satan. 223. This is the same gang that runs commercial hip-hop. This is the same gang that wrote the checks for 2Pac Shakur and Big Frank. Someday we're going to find out all the answers. I almost wonder if a guy like Big Frank was born and bred to be what he was. You know, a big, strong man for a purpose, you know? None of this is coincidence, Truth Seeker. Something's going on in this world. What are the odds of this? All these numbers just stacked on this man from his birth to his death. You haven't seen my video on Dolly the sheep and cloning? Something to think about. You know, if they can make a living sheep, what else can they make? If you can make a sheep, you should be able to make a man. For how long have they been able to do this? So again, Big Frank dead on the 118th day of the year. 2Pac, who he was once the bodyguard for, dead on a date with 118 numerology, just like his birth name gematria. Him dying at age 54. 54 is an interesting number as well. It's connected to the word sun, like sun in the sky, the word love. There's a religion called Thelema, which worships the number 93 and the word love. When you write out 54 as a word, it also sums to 54. This man died at age 54. He died 76 days after his 54th birthday, or a span of 77 days. I noticed his birth numerology. He was born on a date with 28 numerology. He would end up dying on the 28th day of April. The date he died, Big Frank, it was a date with a life lesson number of 38. Not only was it the 118th day of the year, it was the 38th day of the year. Or, excuse me, not only was it the 118th day of the year, it was a date with a life lesson number of 38. And if you want to do this gematria yourself, let me show you 2 websites that you want to bookmark. I'll link these down in the description. This website calculates 3 relevant forms of gematria. Using the alphabetic order, 38. Using Jewish gematria, 118. In English gematria, death sums to 228. Remember, Yaki Gaddafi died at the 228th minute of the day, as reported. The other website to know is Riding the Beast. Another important method on here is English reduction. You'll notice that in this method, death sums to 20. This is where you make each letter in the alphabet a single digit, and then you add the word. Compare it with the alphabetic order. Show you this. D is the 4th letter. In both methods, D is worth 4. E is the 5th letter. In both methods, E is worth 5. A is the 1st letter. In both methods, A is worth 1. T is the 20th letter. Using the alphabetic order, T is 20. Using the breakdown method, 2 plus 0 for 20 is 2. See, that's the difference. That's the difference. And these two methods, they always break down to the same single digit number. 38 equals 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 is 1 plus 1 equals 2. 20 is 2 plus 0 equals 2. Both methods break down to 2. Always that way. Gematria is mathematics. The date of his death, it was also a date with 45 numerology. When you write out 45, it sums to 54, like how old he was. Possibly a coincidence, or possibly not. Says he was also bodyguard for Snoop Dogg and the Dog Pound. The reason they spell it with a D-O-double-G, Snoop Dogg and the Dog Pound, is because D-O-double-G is 33. 33, a number stamped all over hip-hop. Again, because it's run by the Freemasons. The invisible architects, the keepers of knowledge. Every time I make these videos, I always get a lot of angry comments. People who say that this is all bullshit. You know, if you're one of those people watching and you think this is bullshit, watch my videos. You know, this isn't bullshit. This is what's going on in the world. The only thing that's bullshit is your non-functioning brain. You know, your brain is not functioning if you think this work is bullshit. This is murder by numbers. This is something that's sick. It's something that needs to be exposed and stopped. That's why I put out this information. If you can't grasp this work, you need to start eating healthier. You need to stop poisoning yourself with toxins. You know, the majority of people in this world have toxic diets, consume toxic information. All of this stuff is shut your mind down. You're looking at someone who eats healthy, who exercises, who's never really watched television, who's always thought for themselves, done things to strengthen the mind. I recommend everyone do the same types of things. You know? All right, truth seeker. Until next time.